Hello YouTube, it's your girl Soul's Purpose, back with another video. Thank you for watching my videos, liking, commenting, subscribing, continue to share them. If it don't resonate with you and you think it might resonate with somebody else, then so be it. All right, so today I want to talk about about routinely keeping your mental, spiritual, and your physical body in balance, and how important that is. So I remember I had got a reading from one of the tarot readers I go to, and she had mentioned to me, she said, my ancestors, my spirit family told me that you need to continue to do your rituals, do what you're supposed to be doing, so it can balance you out. And I'm not going to go and get in detail what it is or stuff like that, but like, I'll just say like part of it is just baths, protecting myself, whatever. And they said, they was saying through her, through the cards or whatever, that that I need to continue to do it. And that was leading off of something that we was already talking about. So when she said that, I didn't get it at first. And I'm like, why do I got to do these things? I'm like, I feel like I'm doing enough. I feel like, why can I just, when I'm happy or when I'm excited or when I'm, feeling good about life, why do I still need to do these certain things? And I didn't ask why to her, because, when you book a reading, you only supposed to come with the questions that if it's one question, you need to stick to that one question. You can't just be like, why, this and that. They're asking so many questions because, these tarot readers out here don't have, time for all that. So I didn't get it at first because I was being lazy. I gotta be honest. I was being lazy, keeping up with my, myself. And because I'm a positive person. I'm happy, I'm joyous, I like good energy. So I keep myself in that energy. But sometimes us as human beings, if you ever heard of toxic positivity, where you may be saying all your affirmations, you may be watching all the sermons, you may be watching all these things, motivational speakers, you may be listening to the frequencies. It's doing something to you, right? It's doing something to you on an energetic level, and it's probably boosting your mood. But it's like putting a covering on a wound, or putting a band-aid over a gushing wound that needs time for it to actually heal. It needs attending to. It needs attention. It needs some ointment on there. You can't just put a band-aid on a wound, on a gushing wound, and then on a gushing wound, and think that it's gonna be all right. So that's kind of like, in my mind, how toxic positivity is, where you continue to just basically cover up and be like, oh, I'm okay. And it could lead to passive aggressiveness and stuff like that. And that is also kind of toxic for an individual, where you just keep saying, I'm okay, but really you're not. And it is continue to, when you're not dealing with whatever you're going through, or dealing with certain circumstances, or just keeping your mental in balance in sync with your environment, with your world, and not your environment, but just keeping it healthy. And you keep lying to yourself that you're all right when you're not all right. It does something. So my spirit family was like, reminding me every time I pull cards for myself, every time I read cards for myself, they said the same exact thing. I'm like, ugh, I'm doing all this. What else do y'all want me to do? Like, I'm doing it. And they was like, you're not being consistent in it. And consistency in everything in life is key. Now, dealing with our mental, our health, with our physical body, with our spiritual body or a spiritual world within ourselves. Not keeping these balance. If one is out of balance, it leads to something else being out of balance. It's all connected. Okay. Have you ever heard of if your space is messy, or if your house is messy, or if your car is messy, and you continue to go into that car, and you continue to go into your house, and you're just looking around, and you may be frustrated, you don't know why you're frustrated, your mind is just all over the place, your mind is chaotic. Well, the physical, you are a product of your environment, so people say. And when you in that environment, is messy, no wonder why your mind is all over the place. No wonder why you can't get a good rest. When I noticed that, like, oh, maybe I might have some clothes on the floor because I came home from work and I threw them down and I got into bed, I realized I didn't have a real good night's sleep, because I wake up with my room still in a mess. And when I clean it up, and I straighten my bed, or I just clean out my closet, or whatever, straighten up in my house, I can feel my mind is at peace. Now, if your spirit, this can go on with your spirit. So if your spirit, which is your higher self, whatever you want to call it, your soul, whatever, if your mental isn't right, you won't have a deep connection. You lose connection with your higher self. You lose connection to yourself. You stop doing the things you love. You stop because the things that you love is part of your spirit. It's part of your soul contract. It's part of your, everybody has talents and gifts. Even a person who plays golf, that's something they love. So it does something to them spiritually. It puts them into a balance, into sync, where they're relaxed, where they're calm, where they're doing something creative. It stirs in self-love. It stirs in something just magical. I don't know what to call it, but it just relieves you of, it takes your attention off the world and puts you in a different world, in a different mind, when you're doing something that you love, and you're just doing something that is part of your spirit. It aligns it. Like when I do yoga, yes, yoga is a physical exercise. Okay. It is. It does something to your body physically, but it also does something to me spiritually. It connects me to my higher self. It gets me into sync. It gets me into balance. It removes the stress off of me. It removes whatever I need it, whatever I'm doing it for. It helps. So they wanted me to do these certain things consistently, because just because you're happy in life, just because you're everything's going good, or you having a good time, doesn't mean you stray away from keeping your mental, your spiritual, your spirit, and your physical environment in balance. Because if you don't, it'll get right back out of balance and out of sync again. Something can come into your life, or somebody can say something on the side of the street, or whatever like that. And if you're not keeping up with these things, you're still at a place of weakness. You haven't strengthened your character. You haven't strengthened who you are. You haven't strengthened your capability. You haven't strengthened these weaknesses that you have. You haven't expressed what's going on with you. You haven't let go what is lingering within you, meaning that goes back to shadow work, goes back to being your own counselor, being your own parent, being just getting these things out that you need to get out, because it helps. And you be like, oh, I'm good, I'm living life. But that don't mean nothing. Because in a snap of a finger, somebody, like I said, somebody can come by and cuss you out. Oh, now you losing your top. But since you wasn't being consistent, you know you had this problem, this temperament. You wasn't paying attention to this. You wasn't being consistent to it. Now you're falling back into the same experience. And now you're falling back into the same habit because you wasn't consistent. Now with losing weight, a lot of people want to lose weight, or they want to get their body right? Physical body. And I struggle with this too. So, but we might say, oh, I'm eating good. I'm doing good, or whatever, right? But when you're not consistent with it, I'm not saying go cold turkey, start eating salads and all this stuff, right? But if you're not consistent with okay, I'm going to substitute this with this, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep doing, just substituting every day. You can make this a goal. I'm going to substitute every day. Instead of I'm craving sugar, I'm going to go and get, I don't know, or an organic snack, I don't know, or a fruit or whatever, because I'm craving sugar. Or I may think, somebody told me that usually when you're hungry, usually when you feel hungry, you're really thirsty. I'm pretty sure we all heard that before. But anyway, so when you're just not keeping up with your, when you're not keeping consistency with that, you tend to go back into that same habit of eating bad, where you're not checking yourself. Because a lot of times, us being grown, we don't got nobody to check us. Now, if you have a spouse, or if you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, or you have a sibling that lives with you or whatever, maybe they can check you. They can be your mentor or whatever. But if you're not checking yourself, because you are your own teacher, you are your own parent, you don't have nobody around you to support you or whatever you're doing, you have to learn how to be your own support system. You have to learn how to validate yourself. So if you continue not to be your own cheerleader, you're going to keep drifting back into the same habits that's not beneficial for your life. So when my spirit family was like, you got to be consistent in these things, and I wasn't ready to receive that. I didn't get it. Why do I have to be consistent in my mental, my physical, my spiritual, when this should be enough. This should be enough. I'm good, y'all. I'm happy. And then when something come around, I'm just like, see, I told you, be consistent. Because being consistent, you will gain strength while you're in the midst of your consistency. And then you will start seeing the product of what you've been doing. You've been seeing the results. And you realize certain things don't bother you no more. Certain things don't faze you. Or some things can't attack you because you've been consistent. If you're a type of person that gets frustrated real easy when hard things come about in your life, or you take on so many things or whatever like that, what's going to happen is, when you're not checking in on yourself, when you're not releasing whatever, you're not talking to somebody about it, if you're not, and you're getting advice, because we all need each other, okay? You're not talking to somebody, and maybe that person can give you some advice. Maybe that person, your spirit family, can talk through that person because you're not listening to them. So going to that person to release, put it at their feet, and then they give you some advice, and you're like, oh, okay, let me do that. And you're consistent with the advice that they give because it resonates, because your spirit family is talking through them. And you're constantly doing that. Now you realize you're going about your life. You may be working those 3 jobs, okay? But you being consistent mentally, spiritually, and physically, it connects you to, do I really need these? Why do I really need these 3 jobs? Maybe, okay, yeah, I got to pay some things. Or maybe I got to do this, and get to this outcome. Now, I'm not saying quit all your 3 jobs or let go of one. Maybe your spirit family been telling you to let go of something or be consistent in something, and you realize, I don't need all these 3 jobs. All I need is just to have faith. You see where I'm going here? Where you're not connected with being consistent in your mental and your spiritual and your physical, you will not realize the message. And the thing you just needed to learn was to have faith that you're going to be all right, that you're going to receive the money from the universe. But you taking on these 3 jobs thinking that you needed man to pay you, but really all you had to do was just wait on God. All you had to do was just wait on the Most High, whatever you want to say, source, universe. Not wait, but make it happen. Or be your own God, be your own goddess, and make it happen. Trust in yourself, that you have the capability, that you have the power to make things manifest in your life. That was the lesson the whole entire time, because you was too busy complaining, this, that, and you missed the message. And that is what is it called? That is the effect of being consistent. Or that's why we have to be consistent in our daily life. Consistency is key, y'all. It is key. And since I've been consistent with what I've been doing in my life, man, since I said, okay, I surrender. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be consistent. It don't matter how tired I am. I'm going to do it. It don't matter how, okay, pushing this back. We have a tendency to push things back and procrastinate on it. when we keep pushing things back, just go ahead and just do it. Get it over with. Just go ahead and do it. If you're too tired, okay, take your nap, come back, and then do your thing. Okay? But we got to be consistent on our mental, physical, and spirit. Because those three, if one is off, all three of them going to be off. Just like your chakra system. If one chakra is off, it leads another one to be off. Then the other one be off. Then your whole system will be out of balance because your chakras are connected to your spirit body. Your chakras are connected to your spirit body. So one is off, then your spirit body will be off. Then something in your physical environment will bother you. And then now your mental is disarray. It's just all over the place. You see how that goes? But that's what I wanted to say, y'all, because I'm just getting epiphanies just like that. So please, please, please be consistent on your mental health. Be consistent on your physical health. Be consistent on your spiritual health. Because you be consistent a little at a time, you will see the results. Just try it. All right. Peace.